12 o'clock, time to reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
Eleven days to the December 7 elections. This is the Election Bureau. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News. The news is live from our studios at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. My name is Ajuatin Krama Domina. Coming up this afternoon, North Tongue MP Samuel Okudeto Ablakwa demands immediate dissolution of the National Cathedral Secretariat following a report by the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice.
I am demanding the immediate dissolution of the National Cathedral Secretariat.
Today on the campaign trail, NDC flag bearer John Mahama alleges a plot by the EC to rig the election in favor of the governing party. But meanwhile, the NPP flag bearer Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia kicks off his campaign today in Ayawaso Central. We'll follow up the trail and bring you updates later in the bulletin. One person shot dead in a robbery incident at Domabing.
There were a lot of things going through my mind,
Apologies for that. We have details of these and more stories coming your way in the next half hour. Remember, the news is live across the globe on citinewsroom.com. Around the country, we are live on a number of affiliate stations. If you're listening to us from the western region, this is Beach 105.5 FM and Sky Power 93.5 FM, both in Takrade. In Upper West, we are on Tumpani 88.5 FM in Nadoli, Jirapa 96.1 FM. In Upper East, this is Recast 92.1 FM in Bongo Namo. In the Northern region, North Star Radio 92.1 FM in Tamale. In the Northeast region, this is Nobia FM 98.1 FM in Nalerigu. Ashanti region, find us on Focus 94.3 FM in Kumasi. Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Volta region, this is Sela Radio 97.1 FM, Holy FM 98.5 FM. In Savannah region, we're on Kasha 99.5 FM, and in the Bono region, we're on Greener 95.9 FM. Please stay for details.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
We're grateful for your company this afternoon. Let's begin on the campaign trail and from the camp of the New Patriotic Party. And its flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, is campaigning in the Nsawam Adwejui constituency currently, but he began today's tour in Ayawaso Central. He will also visit the Ablekuma Central constituencies today. His activities include meet and greet sessions and engagements with constituents and party members in the areas. We are joined on the line by Hansen Ajaman, who is following the campaign for us. Hansen, good afternoon. Thank you for your time. What has the NPP flag bearer been saying to Nsawam Adwejui constituents?
Well, he's just arrived at the Hebron Prayer Center, and some introductions currently are being made. After that, he would get the opportunity to address congregants, and of course, as he's always been doing, he would most likely touch on the achievements of the NPP government and policies that he intends to implement when he is given the nod to be the president of Ghana. And so these are issues most likely he will talk about.
Right.
And I must say that the thought today is in a way different from what he's done in the past, because he's already visited 16 regions, and in all these constituencies, one way or the other, visited these constituencies. But the team believes that some top-up measures ought to be taken in these constituencies. And so for some of these constituencies, it will just be a meet and greet, and particularly for the Nsawam Adwejui constituency, it's just going to be the interaction at the Hebron Prayer Center. For Ayawaso Central, he would, of course, engage commercial drivers and also engage at the ATTC. And then he's going to end the day with a meet and greet session at Oboswokan, which is in the Ablikma Central constituency.
So he's doing 2 regions today.
Technically, you can say so because in Sawamati constituency is in the eastern region, and then he's doing 2 other constituencies in the Greater Accra region.
Do we know how many more places the NPP flag bearer has to tour before he brings his campaign to a close?
Tentatively, we are told that he will visit other constituencies in the region tomorrow. And then after that, we have been told that he may embark a final lap campaign from Thursday to Sunday, which will witness him visiting the Volta, Oti, Eastern, and Ashanti regions. And he's expected to bring that one end on Sunday. And then after that, we know that he's going to hold a mega rally in Accra on December 5, tentatively. That's what the team has shared with us.
Very well, thank you so much. That's Hansen Ajiman, my colleague here, following the campaign trail of the New Patriotic Party. We go to the NDC now, and the presidential candidate of the party, John Dramani Mahama, has alleged that the governing New Patriotic Party is collaborating with the Electoral Commission to influence the upcoming elections in its favor. Addressing supporters, John Mahama claimed that the EC has recruited 65 NPP members as part of its temporary staff for the December polls in the Gomwa East constituency of the Central Region. John Mahama further alleged that these individuals, reportedly card-bearing members of the NPP, were recommended to the Electoral Commission by an NPP member of Parliament and some party executives. According to him, this reinforces the NDC's long-standing assertion that the Electoral Commission and the government may be conspiring to manipulate the election outcome.
We all have to be vigilant and keenly observe the polls because we can vote well, but some thieves will rig it. I've seen a video from Gomwa East which contains a recording showing that one NPP MP and its executives submitted 65 party members to an EC official who added them. So if such a person is the one at the polling station, do you think you allow the polls to be fair? That's why we have always been saying that there is a collision between the EC and the MPP to rig the elections, and we have evidence from Gomwa East. We expect the EC to replace those 65 persons when they are fished out. It's the same in the Joaboso constituency, where some MPP members with party cards have been fished out from the EC officials. We in the NDC are very alert about this. And just as we won't cheat anyone, we won't allow anybody to cheat us too.
Now you expect to say EC area sa nipa 65 na I was so mu yomo. Now omodi nipa for better about one no.
Well, John Mahama has also expressed concern over the lack of development in Sekondi Takoradi under the Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration. He assured residents that his next government, if elected, will focus on significant investment in the region and complete or ongoing abandoned projects.
Sekondi Fishing Harbour Phase 1, Phase 2,
The NDC government undertook significant projects in Sekondi Takoradi, including the Bosomtwe Fishing Harbour, Abuadze Terminal Plant Expansion, Kojo Krom to Takoradi Railway, and Takoradi Port Expansion. We also operationalized 2 oil fields, improved roads, and created jobs. However, after 8 years, the area is in decline due to governance prioritizing vote buying over development. Unlike globally honored leaders, the current president had a statue erected before completing projects. The NDC promises to return and finish these initiatives.
And so the Unyankoi now wako statue a symbol. Now just and Juma, yes, Yede Bonabasu, Nina said, Wabe or Western region. A beer anywhere will be.
You heard John Dramani Mahama, flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress. We'll stay in politics, and a senior lecturer at the Political Science Department of the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Jonathan Asante, has stated that polls predicting a win for either of the leading political parties ahead of the December elections reflects the true sentiments of the public. Several polls have either projected opposition leader John Mahama as a potential winner or suggested the election may proceed to a runoff. Speaking to City News, Dr. Asante acknowledged the likelihood that these polls represent the views of the electorate. However, he urged political parties not to become complacent due to favorable poll results.
The data that is supposed to be released from the very people that are likely to get the poll. And if you get your methodology right, then plus margin of error, so they are human beings, definitely there should be some kind of reflection one way or the other. But if you don't get the data right, and you are just in a room using all manner of statistical methodology, and you know that you are going to arrive at a particular result, and you think that that is it, then you get it wrong. So say that once the methodology is right, the right questions are responses are used to reflect the general sentiment. Certainly, we do not have a proof system. Therefore, I'm not sure that any of the political parties will want to take these results with the anonymity of it and think that they have won their election. You could see that as many times as the two leading candidates, that are and that of
You heard a senior lecturer at the Political Science Department of the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Jonathan Asante. Apologies for the poor sound quality. We'll head to the Keta constituency now, and the NDC there has set a target of securing 95% of votes to retain the parliamentary seat. Keta MP Kwame Gakpe stated that the party is working tirelessly to not only hold the Keta seat but also win the presidential elections. He added that the constituency will experience significant infrastructure development as the NDC's manifesto aligns with the needs of the constituents.
Good, and we have targeted 95% of the votes, and then inshallah we will deliver 95% of the vote. So for us, we are working and we are on the ground. We are not leaving any stone unturned, and we will make sure we deliver victory for former president, the incoming president, President Mahama. We are able, under the manifesto, Keta will be getting School of Pharmacy as a part of the UHA Satellite Campus. And then we are going to Keta Sea Defense is also a huge project because look at how tied that we, the dams village, worrying our people, all every day Keta is in the news. And then we have no solution. We have cried and cried to this government. Nothing. Okay. So President Mahama is coming to continue the Sea Defense project to bring relief to our people.
You heard that the Keta MP Kwame Gakpe. Meanwhile, some residents in the town have expressed dissatisfaction with the performance of the New Patriotic Party in the constituency.
As a matter of fact, by my own analysis, I can say on record that the MPP administration has performed abysmally. I say that because looking at the livelihood of average Ghanaian in the past 4 years, as compared to the previous administration of NDC before MPP took over, I can tell you for a fact that things are not the same. Whilst we are expecting that per their, promises to us, we're going to meet heavens on earth, it has actually turned negative.
He has some constituents of Keta in the Volta region. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News. When we return, North Tongue Member of Parliament Samuel Kujatwa-Blakwa demands immediate dissolution of National Cathedral Secretariat. We have details of this and more stories coming up shortly. Please stay.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Channel 1 TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, Find us on Channel 363. On GoTV, we're on Channel 117. And on HD Plus, get us on Channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Channel 1 TV. Channel 1 TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box, like the DSTV and HD Plus boxes. Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change.
Ago Omambapa, the time to exercise your civic duty is here again. This year, we the good people of Ghana have another opportunity to elect our leaders on December 7. This is a very important national exercise and you have the civic duty to make that decision for Ghana. Don't be indifferent because your vote counts. Vote on issues. Don't sell your vote. Reject violent candidates and expose acts that undermine the integrity of the elections. Don't attempt to snatch a ballot box or deface political party posters. The law will deal with you. December 7, 2024 is election day. Pick up your voter's ID card. Get to your polling station. Follow the voting process. Make that bold decision for Ghana. Vote peacefully. Ghana must win. Vote on December 7. It's your civic duty.
Civic duty required of you as a Ghanaian. So get involved and vote.
A message from the National Commission for Civic Education, NCCE. Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back to the bulletin. Let's bring you some other stories now. The Member of Parliament for North Tongue, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, has cautioned that the Minority Caucus will oppose any budgetary allocations for staff and board members of the National Cathedral in the 2025 budget if the government does not dissolve the National Cathedral Secretariat without delay. Now, speaking at a press conference in Kumasi, Okudzeto-Ablakwa issued the warning a day after the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice releases findings on his petition. Now, he reiterates the need for the Secretariat's immediate dissolution to promote transparency in the ongoing controversy surrounding the National Cathedral project.
I am demanding the immediate dissolution of the National Cathedral Secretariat. Remember that a couple of months ago, when I made a similar demand, a member of the Board of Trustees, Reverend Joyce Aye, said that it was a demand that didn't make sense to them and that they will continue to operate and draw salaries. Please bear in mind that the National Cathedral Secretariat has an army of staff, and then you have the Board of Trustees. All of these people have been drawing salaries for the past 31 months that no work has been going on. And Shiraj has confirmed in his report that when they went there, this project has been abandoned. So for 31 months that this project has been abandoned, why will...
We apologize for that sound hitched there, but Okudzeto-Ablakwa has been insisting that President Akufo-Addo should be held responsible and surcharged for the financial losses the nation has suffered as a result of the National Cathedral project.
The plight of the eminent priest, as I have said, is really unfortunately regrettable. I feel very, very sad for them. But they were deceived, totally misled by President Akufo-Addo, and he ought to take the blame. President Akufo-Addo must be surcharged. President Akufo-Addo must be held directly responsible for this gross financial loss. He must be made to cover that hole, to refund the monies.
Right, so we have been bringing you the audio of Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, who has been demanding the immediate dissolution of the National Cathedral board members, but we understand it has not been playing on air. Apologies for that. We will do well to bring you that sound in our subsequent bulletins, but now let's move on to some other stories. And the Minority Caucus in Parliament has called on Alban Bagbin to reject the recall request submitted by the majority members of Parliament. Now, the recall was initiated through a memo signed by Majority Leader Alexander Peñomakin last Friday after Parliament was indefinitely adjourned due to the absence of a prepared agenda from the Business Committee. However, a counter memo from the Minority Leader, Dr. Kesiola Tafosin, addressed to the Speaker of Parliament yesterday argued that a recall request does not meet the constitutional and procedural requirement outlined in Articles 112(3) of the 1992 Constitution and Order 53(1) of the Standing Orders of Parliament. The minority further criticized the proposed recall dates of November 28 and November 29, describing them as poorly timed, given that MPs are actively campaigning ahead of the December 7 elections. Let's bring you some other stories. Now, one person has been shot dead following a robbery incident at a filling station in Domabin in the Oti region. The deceased, a customer who was mistakenly thought to be an attendant at the station, sustained gunshot wounds, while the robbers made off with 9,000 Ghana cedis. Kingsley Mamor, a journalist at Oti Radio in Dambai who reported the incident to City News, said the victim received initial treatment at the Domabin Chips facility before being transferred to Rara Government Hospital. Unfortunately, the victim succumbed to his injuries while being transported.
So armed robbers stormed the facility of the premises over there and thought the guy was one of the pub attendants. So they opened fire on him and eventually entered into the premises and made away of 9,000 Ghana cedi. So the victim was rushed to Domabe Chip compound for medical treatment, but later transferred to government hospital in Rara and Abiakuye district. So on their way going to Rara, the guy died in the vehicle at Askoko. And as we speak, the police or the My Police Command has increased or beefed up security patrol within the community to prevent any future occurrences.
So you had a journalist at Oti Radio in Dambai, Kingsley Mamor. Let's now bring you some other stories. And now, the unposted environmental health officers have expressed frustration over the government's continued silence regarding their postings, calling the situation deeply disappointing. The officers had previously protested at the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources, urging the government to clear and post them after completing their courses 4 years ago. However, they lament that their efforts to address the situation have been ignored. Speaking to City News, a group spokesperson, Frederick Awini Atinga, stated that they will not back down until their demands are met.
We have been with this ministry for a very long time, 4 years being in the house. When we contact them, no one is speaking to us. The only time they wrote back to us was when they told us that there's a ban on IMF in 2023 and within 2023 and 2022. Since then, anytime you go there with a problem, they don't even want to attend to you. Sometimes you even write to them and later you go back to the same people you submit your letter to and they say they're not aware of it. We have lost hope. We are tired and we are tired of the way they are treating us. So what we are simply saying is that the Ministry of Water and Sanitation, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Local Government, they have become our bona fide houses, our properties, our houses, because it's for Ghana and we are part of Ghana, we are citizens, and we will continue to be there every day for them to see our presence and know that we are serious.
Spokesperson of the unposted environmental health officers, Frederick Awini Atinga. Now, the Minister for Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, Martin J. Mensah-Kosa, has justified the government's borrowing, stating that the funds have been prudently utilized for developmental projects across the country. He noted that the borrowed resources have been invested in initiatives aimed at improving the lives of the ordinary Ghanaian, with numerous projects visible nationwide. Speaking to City News during the inauguration of the 188 lockable stores under the Secondary Cities Support Program at Agomenya in the Eastern Region, Martin J. Mensah-Kosa urged the people of Krobo to acknowledge the government's efforts by voting for the New Patriotic Party in the upcoming elections.
There was a recent commissioning of a business center by the Vice President, and there are about 8 roads that are being built. And all of this goes to part of what government has taken out of its borrowed funds to come and do in its collaboration with the World Bank. So it is just to emphasize that this is one of the examples of projects undertaken with borrowed monies from our development partners, and that needed to be put on record.
What are you telling them?
Well, government seems to be prioritizing their needs. I mean, of the monumental projects that have happened in record time, it's unseen. It is unprecedented. And they keep the hope that they will get some more. I mean, I was told that the community is yearning for a tomato factory. If government has their needs as a priority, then it's important that they also respond by showing appreciation to government, and which has proven to be a listening government.
You heard Martin Ejamin Sakosa, his Minister for Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development. Now, the Municipal Chief Executive for Lankwantanan Medina, Jennifer Adade, has criticized Medina MP Francis Xavier Susu for his inability to lobby for the rehabilitation of the Damfa Road. She noted that the MP instead led a demonstration in October 2021 to protest the poor state of the Ayimensa Damfa Otinibi Road. Speaking during a visit to the site where rehabilitation is ongoing under the government's District Road Improvement Program DRIP, Jennifer Afebeji stressed that the government's commitment to enhancing the road network in the area is paramount.
This is very evident for you to see. This a road that was in a very deplorable state, but today you can drive on it very smoothly. We've done grading, and then we've done graveling, and then we've now compacted. So at this level, what we are left with is to do the sealing. And thanks to the parliamentary candidates, he on his own has arranged some sealing for us as well to be able to seal this particular road, which is the Damfa road. And maybe if people would want to know, this is the road that the Member of Parliament demonstrated on. Instead of going to lobby for the road to be done, he was leading the youth to vandalize people's properties, and unfortunately we lost a pregnant woman in the course of that demonstration. So we thank the President. We've done so much with the machines that have come, and there are many more that we have to do.
That's the Municipal Chief Executive for Lankwantanan Medina, Jennifer Dede Afekbeji. Away from that, the International Development Economics Associates is urging the government to reduce Ghana's reliance on imported food. According to the association, the country's increasing dependence on imports has significantly hindered its development over the years. Now, in a lecture organized by the Third World Network Africa to mark its 30-year celebration, Charles Abugri, the Executive Director of the International Development Economics Associates, stated that relying on the import market is an economic suicide. He emphasized the need for investment in local food production.
There is a second dependence, and that's a dependence on the foreign market for the import of food. So if you look at our import bill, we now exceed over $1 billion in the importation of food to feed ourselves in this country. That's not only a sovereignty and security question, it's really an economic suicide to have land resources, poison them, refuse to invest in feeding ourselves, and depend increasingly on the import market. That's the second area of dependence we must address.
He heard the Executive Director of the International Development Economics Associates, Charles Abugri. Meanwhile, Coordinator of the Third World Network Africa, Yao Graham, stated that the African Continental Free Trade Area has yet to achieve its objectives.
Sadly, when it came to the creation of the AFCFTA, the hope, the expectation that the AFCFTA would help repair the damage caused by the WTO and the EPS have not been fulfilled. Some of the same procedural mistakes of inadequate consultation and engagement with affected constituencies has marked the work around the AFCFTA. The challenges inherent in the design are becoming visible in the implementation phase. And this is an issue that we would like to suggest that more and more people should engage with, because This is an African problem, and only we Africans can solve it.
That's the coordinator of the Third World Network Africa, Yael Graham. Before we go, the Electoral Commission has assured that by the end of the weekend, all ballot papers and biometric verification devices will be deployed to the regions. The Commission is expected to send ballot papers to the Northern Bono and Bono East regions today, which are the three remaining regions. During a meeting with the National Election Security Task Force, the chairperson of the Commission, Jane Mensah, highlighted the Commission's readiness for the upcoming polls.
As we speak, all our registers have been prepared. We have completed the preparation of our voters' register, and they have been disseminated across the country. We are also near completion with our ballots, the preparation of our ballots for the presidential and parliamentary elections. And all the ballots, with the exception of the Northern region, the Bono region, and the Bono East, have been disseminated to our police armories across the country.
You heard the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jane Mensah, bringing us to the end of today's edition of the Citi Prime News. You can log on to citynewsroom.com for more stories. Also, join us using the hashtag CityVerify, hashtag GhanaPost2024, and hashtag Election Bureau for all your election-related stories. My name is Ajuatin Krama Domina. Thank you for your company. Good afternoon.
City News. We speak first. Reach